With both Embark Studios and their parent company Nexon on the card to appear at Summer Games Fest on June 7 or 8, depending on your location on the earthly disc, there's a lot of speculation in the community starting to buzz around about what the final Season 3 has in store for us, along with Embark Studios' upcoming game Ark Raiders, which I'll talk about in a separate video. In this video, I'm going to give you my predictions for what Season 3 of the finals will include in terms of a new map, some possible new weapons, and other potential changes to the game. Summer Games Fest is going to be a packed event for Embark Studios. The event happens to occur just a few days before the scheduled start of Season 3 of the finals, providing the perfect opportunity for Embark to reveal the season's offerings for the game. The event is also the first opportunity Embark Studios has had since the surprise launch of the finals at the Game Awards to showcase the game at a global event, so I expect them to make the most of it. Firstly, I think we'll see a Season 3 trailer that reveals the new Season 3 map, along with new weapons, gadgets and specializations. And I say the map because we're pretty certain that just like Season 2, there will be a single new map introduced to the game, as Embark Studios co-founder, chief content officer and executive producer for the finals, Rob Runison, mentioned in the game's Discord that he played light today on the Season 3 map, so not on a Season 3 map or one of the Season 3 maps. It was definitely map singular. A map a season seems to be the workflow that Embark is going with, and while I can imagine that some of the community might consider this as fewer than they'd like, I think that once we have the Season 3 map alongside the 5 existing maps, a single map per season moving into the future will be completely adequate. So which location will the map be from? For the community, this is probably one of the most highly speculated topics about Season 3. Well, given that we have had subtle hints for previous maps prior to them being announced, such as the casino chip charm appearing in-game and this hidden image of the game's Iggy mascot Namatama from the closed Beta 1 trailer that likely referenced the 1998 film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, both of which appeared before the Las Vegas map was announced at the game's launch, and fragmented images of the Seoul map in the closed alpha trailer, as well as images of the Sis Horizon map in lore videos, I think we do have some hints to possible future maps already, and therefore a couple of leading contenders for the Season 3 map. I will say, before we look at these possible clues, that we have to remember that the finals is going to take us to some exotic locations. So Season 3's map really could be anywhere around the world, and what I think are clues for the upcoming season's map could actually be for maps for a later season. Anyway, here's what I'm predicting. We've seen some medieval clues that could point to a possible castle or medieval village map, such as the medieval Might set, which comprises the Squire's Legacy sledgehammer skin, the World of Hurt medieval wheel charm, and the medieval migraine sticker, which presumably shows a medieval jester. The Saving Throw Dungeons and Dragons style die charm could also support a castle themed map. And we have the Phalanx starter, which is a sticker of a shield, however the name would probably link it more closely with Greek warfare than medieval. Having said that, an ancient Greek city map would be phenomenal, but I don't expect that to be Season 3's map because I haven't seen any other hints pointing to it. Perhaps an additional clue is this image, which we were given when Level 2 of the ongoing ARG Easter egg puzzle was solved, of Namatama wearing what appears to be a medieval Great Helm Knight's helmet. We'd actually seen Namatama dressed like this before when Nama appeared in the game's Season 1 or launch trailer on the face of a Jack playing card wearing a knight's helmet and carrying an axe, the axe adding to the likelihood of a medieval theme. However, this is one instance where the symbolism may have another meaning, as when I mentioned this idea in the Easter egg channel of the finals Discord, Rob Runison wrote, "That would be too obvious, you know me better than that." Easter egg hunters in the community have also made possible links for the Nama Knight's helmet images to the Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory, or that the indentations in the metal of the helmet actually reference the bullet-dented helmets worn by the Ned Kelly gang. Ned Kelly was an Australian bushranger outlaw gang leader and convicted police murderer from the late 1800s. Despite the Nama in the knight's helmet maybe not adding to the medieval theme, all things considered, from the other clues, I think we can say that a medieval castle map is definitely a possibility. Perhaps more likely though, as a location for the Season 3 map, I think we could see Japan. The main reason for this is that there were samurai character cosmetics that our characters could wear appear in the Finals closed alpha, and we haven't seen those back into the game yet. The Finals Easter egg puzzle was also started with an image of a katana-wielding samurai. In-game outfits like this take many days, sometimes weeks to complete, and samurai are so location-specific that I'd be highly surprised if we didn't see a Japan map at some point. And the fact that Embark had these outfits in a game-ready state back in September 2022 means that it's been easily enough time for them to have completed an accompanying Japanese map. Supporting this, we have the Maki in Friends Maki Sushi Roll charm, again very Japan specific, the Dragonwood Spiral sticker and Wide-Eyed Worm charm, both part of the Claws and Snails set, could both be traditional Japanese dragons, and you can even see that the charm has these barbels or tendrils on the dragon's face, which you can also see in this drawing of a Japanese dragon. I also expect the Season 3 map not to be a continuation of the CNS hacked map theme that we got in Horizon for Season 2, because from a lore perspective it would provide a more balanced storyline for us to have some toing and froing between iconic locations and hacked maps as we progress through the seasons, and simultaneously develop the game's lore. Equally, I'd be surprised if Embark just made an unhacked version of the Cicerise map, which has been bandied around the community, because that would lack variety. So from these perspectives, a switch to an iconic location rather than a hacked map feels right too. If it is Japan, I reckon something like downtown Tokyo, and specifically Shibuya Crossing, which I've seen proposed by the community, is perhaps less likely because we already have the downtown Seoul map, albeit on rooftops. So to provide more variety, a map that includes the likes of traditional Japanese gardens with cherry blossoms and historic buildings would take us somewhere completely new for the Finals, not only in location but in overall feel, and that I think could be a stunning looking map. So my prediction for the Season 3 map is that it'll either be a medieval castle or a map based on traditional Japan, or perhaps described more accurately, feudal Japan. Just in the last few days, this image was posted on the CNS subreddit, where CNS lore images have been posted previously. It definitely has that Japanese rising sun kind of look to it. If it is either a medieval or Japanese location, then we'll know Embark are continuing to drop clues for future map locations into the game. If I'm right, and they're doing exactly that, it'll be game on for speculating about maps for future seasons when we see Season 3's Battle Pass items and store cosmetics. Okay, what about weapons? Well, speculation for weapons could go anywhere, but I think if we do get either a medieval or traditional Japanese map for Season 3 of the Finals, those period piece locations would provide plenty of scope for very closely related weapons. For a medieval castle map, we could have battle axes, various maces and clubs, bows and arrows or crossbows, pikes and lances, which would introduce some more ranged melee weapons. Maybe the medium build could wield those, which would provide them an alternative melee weapon to the right shield and baton, which dictates a very specific playing style. Continuing the medieval theme, longswords seem like one of the most obvious, of course, and how about a trebuchet that heavies could use as their version of a jump pad for a flying long-range charge and slam? On an even more novel front, we could have flaming barrels of oil sitting around the map that could be thrown to have fire spread over a much larger area than pyro grenades provide, or conversely, barrels of boiling water that have the dual purpose of quenching flames and also burning opponents if thrown at them directly. Barrels of sticky tar could also cover an area of floor and slow opponents right down. The medieval period provides plenty of scope for this sort of thing. Likewise, traditional Japanese samurai and ninja weapons offer a lot of similar options to those from a European medieval setting. Perhaps the most obvious would be a katana skin for the light build sword, but we could also see the yumi or longbow, the naginata or samurai halberd for those longer range melee attacks like the medieval pike or lance could provide, the masakari or axe, which could be a skin for the sledgehammer, as could the nadashi or two-handed sword. On the comical front, the tessin or fan could be a skin for the dagger, so lights can keep themselves cool while sprinting around the map. This isn't actually a joke, a metal tessin could be sharpened on its edge to become a cutting weapon. This allowed samurai to always have a weapon on them even when they were asked to leave their weapons at the entrance of a house. Pass. Then as a skin for the throwing knives, we could have the old classic from ninja movies, the Shuriken, or Ninja Star as they're sometimes called. I'd be hugely happy with either of these suites of weapons, and again, I like the idea of how a medieval castle or traditional Japanese map would easily open up the possibility for these weapons to be added to the game and tie in super nicely with the new map itself. Lastly, let's talk about potential changes to the game for Season 3. A few weeks ago, I made a video about the need for Ranked to provide more incentives for players to want to play ranked matches. That video is linked above, but essentially, I'd like to see Embark create more incentives for playing Ranked and do that by introducing both free Ranked career progression cosmetics as well as a separate paid Ranked Battle Pass. This would mean that tight skill-based matchmaking could be introduced for Ranked, which would see players more often than not competing against opponents of similar skill and becoming more comfortable that the goal isn't just to make it to diamond level. Instead, allow players to enjoy playing the season at a level they're capable of, even if that means little or no progression, by providing incentives for just playing ranked matches regardless of progress through the leagues. The upside of this for players is that by season's end, they might have played in a whole bunch of really close, enjoyable, competitive matches, and even if they only move slightly up the league ladder through the experience they gain from play, they'll come away with a bunch of cosmetics they can wear in game and that other players will recognize as having been earned from a dedication to ranked play. This will draw other players into playing ranked more often as well. I think this would help to give the finals ranked and unranked competitions more of a feel like those in Rocket League, where the habit is to jump into a round or two of casual play as a warm-up, then a few rounds of ranked where you're competing at your limit. But you also have the option of only playing casually or solely grinding ranked matches every moment you can. But regardless of what you choose, there are significant incentives for playing the game the way you want to. From the Embark team's recent comments about ranked matches, I think they know that they need to work on this aspect of the game, but we might not see wholesale changes come in right at the start of Season 3. I think any steps we see down this path should be applauded by the community, even if it's delivered as an ongoing series of changes throughout the season. Additionally, I think it came as no surprise that Terminal Attack has been extended to the end of Season 2. I've noticed that the mode has some of the shortest wait times out of any of the game's modes, and it's been clear that it's been super popular. As a result, I'm expecting it to continue into Season 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets offered to both casual and ranked players. The mode did feel a little beta-like, so I also wouldn't be surprised if it has a few tweaks made to it going forward, but good on Embark for trialling it and for it being very successful. The Finals is an innovative FPS, and I think we're yet to see all the core game modes that it has to offer. Season 3 is potentially shaping up to be a pivotal and important one in the game's history. What are your predictions for the game in Season 3? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video to the end. Do the usual YouTube business if you want to see more videos from me from now on. Give a like or comment as you see fit, and enjoy the rest of your day. Kia kaha. Stay strong.
Everybody knows the world ain't right. Down on your knees, get up and fight.